with Bryan Danielson revealing the real reason for his WWE retirement and a former WWE tag team getting signed by another promotion. This is Wrestling Up. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report for October 10th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Up and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Bully Ray is one half of one of the greatest tag teams of all time with Devon the Dudley Boys, with the duo winning over 20 tag titles across promotions. Following their departure from WWE in 2005, they would return a decade later, as Bully noted while speaking on Stories with Briscoe and Bradshaw that he felt a lack of freedom when he came back. When we went back in 2015, I remember feeling so stifled as a performer, because you had to run almost everything by the agent, and being told that two guys don't bump and feed for a comeback anymore, or that you can't do this behind the ref's back. Everything that worked in the Attitude Era that made all of us a lot of money, now you couldn't do anymore, and there was not really a good reason why they didn't want it done anymore. It's just that they'd not want it done. I remember dealing with an agent one time when I came up with something different and I felt passionate about it. I asked my agent to please go run it by Vince. My agent said, okay, I will. Then I followed my agent for an hour. He never spoke with Vince. Then he came back and said, yeah, Vince doesn't want to do that. I lose all respect in the world for you. I would much rather you tell me to my face, you know what, Bubba, I don't want to talk with Vince right now. You go do it. He would go on to note that Vince McMahon offered him a job as a producer, yet he turned it down, explaining that he would not feel creatively satisfied in that role. Former NXT star Bobby Fish recently made his debut for AEW as he has signed a deal with the promotion. While his former Undisputed Era faction made Adam Cole as happy for his arrival in AEW, it was actually the Young Bucks who really pushed for Fish. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the Bobby Fish deal, he has signed a full-time deal and has done so, but the announcement was withheld until after his debut match with Sammy Guevara because they wanted to position it as an outsider coming and trying to win their deal, and it's stemming from a social media call out as opposed to a guy under contract, and a regular match being made was recommended and largely put together by the Young Bucks. As many remember, during the Grand Slam event for AEW last month at Arthur Ashe Stadium, Cody Rhodes made his return along with Brandi to face Malachi Black. Despite Black being the heel in this feud, Cody found himself on the receiving end of boos. On his podcast, Jim Cornette noted that Cody's new reality show will help him change his persona. This would be a good vehicle to facilitate his heel turn, because I don't think anybody's going to like this person, and they're definitely not going to like Brandi because it's obvious she needs to be in the middle of stuff regardless of whether she needs to be or not. They could be the hottest heel combination. People talk about how bad I'd get booed. If they came out and said, haha, look at us, we're the first couple of AEW when we run this place and we're better than all of you, and then break the stipulation and get the title, there would be snipers. People would be waiting for them in the parking lot. Despite having trouble for the longest time as a babyface in WWE, Roman Reigns has found his groove as the tribal chief on Smackdown. According to WrestlingNews.co, he has passed up every heel in the company's history when it comes to sale of merchandise, with a noted WWE management is said to be very happy with Reigns as a heel, and he is the top merchandise seller. We were told that he is the all-time merchandise seller among heel wrestlers in the history of the company. One source told us that his merchandise sales are at the level of John Cena, and it's more impressive because Cena sold a ton of merch as a babyface, while Reigns is supposed to be a despised heel. On the 21st, Roman Reigns will face off against Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel for the title, as this looks to be an exciting bout. When it comes to future matches for him in AEW, CM Punk was asked on the Wrap about facing Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega, with it revealed that he isn't in a rush to have a match with either of them. Slow down, us. You don't start a big comeback pitching Game 1 of the World Series. I'm an artist painting my picture. Let me paint my picture. What I'm doing is very calculated. It's very thought out. I'm here to stay. Trust me, in 10 years people will be talking about what we have with AEW. It's such a just hang out, wait and see, and have fun and enjoy enjoy the ride kind of thing. Everything is fluid, dates, contracts, literally everything. This has been the best working experience I've ever had in the wrestling business, and if there is an issue on either end, everybody just talks. There's no drama, it's fantastic. After being a top star and NXT champion on WWE's tertiary brand, Karrion Kross finds himself on Monday Night Raw. Speaking on Table Talk, he talked about the differences between these two brands. It's a completely different experience in the way that these shows run. The CWC that they felt in terms of how the show was laid out felt very premeditated in terms of the direction we knew we were going to be going, and everything was spaced out with time allotted. It just felt more concrete, whereas with Raw there's so many moving parts and a lot of things that are changing moment to moment. Being able to adapt and change on the fly, I don't want to necessarily say it was hard. It's more fun. I enjoy stuff like that and don't mind pressure whatsoever. With Kross teasing the return of Scarlett, hopefully we can see him launch into superstardom and not be underutilized. Two-time UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velazquez had made his WWE debut on Smackdown in 2019 as he began a feud with his former opponent from the Octagon, Brock Lesnar. The only match Cain had in WWE was facing Lesnar at Crown Jewel 2019, where he was defeated in about 2 minutes. Now he is making his return to pro wrestling for AAA on December 4th with an opponent yet to be announced. Talking about the booking of the women's division in WWE, Brie Bella told Sippin' the Tea TV show that it has seen a drop in direction, as she went on to criticize the company specifically for the state of the women's tag team division due to releases. It's weird because I felt like lately you've seen a little bit of a drop. Now that Becky is back, there's going to be momentum with stories, but there for a while I thought the girls were getting so much, and then all of a sudden it went back to so little. You would watch either Raw or Smackdown and these stories just didn't feel like they were getting as much depth as they should have, and not as much time. Look at the tag division. It's just like, wait, we went from having so many tag teams to now it doesn't feel like a lot. I like how women can be such vibrant, fun characters. If I look back in the day, the Glamour Girls when Jimmy Hart would walk them out, and we not have a women tag team that has a male manager. There's so many things that WWE is great at, but that for some reason misses the boat with me. You could have an incredible tag division, but I'm blown away at some of the ones they got rid of. Riot Squad? I'll never understand that. Even like Mandy and Dana Brooke looked like a great tag team walking down. The IIconics? I just tried to wrap my head around it. Like, did they threaten somebody backstage? Because other than that, I don't understand. It was previously said by Fightful that we've heard significant frustration from talent and staff alike about the booking of the women's division of late, and the time given in multiple situations. With WWE holding the first Queen of the Ring tournament, Carmella recently defeated Liv Morgan to advance to the semifinals, where she will go up against Zelina Vega. According to Fightful, Morgan was supposed to win that bout. Carmella ended up winning the match, but we're told that at one point ahead of the match, Liv Morgan was actually penciled in to win. This was the 5th time that Morgan and Carmella have faced off since June, as we hope for better things to come in regards to Morgan. Known as the IIconics in WWE, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay were unfortunately split during their time in the company, finding little to no success without each other. Then they were released, as they are now going by The Inspiration. Now Jessica McKay and Cassie Lee have found a new home in the form of Impact Wrestling, with them set to make their debut for the promotion on October 23rd at the Bound for Glory pay-per-view event. PW Insider confirmed they have officially signed, as Impact put out a tweet hyping up the duo's arrival. Fightful would go on to note that we've heard from several within Impact that they knew as of the last tapings that the duo got a very nice offer from the company, and had other options as well. The finishing touches of the deal have been a closely guarded secret within Impact. With AEW having success in the 18 to 49 demographic compared to Monday Night Raw, Smackdown next week will be airing on FS1 due to the MLB playoffs, as the show is set to air for 2.5 hours, which means the last 30 minutes will be going up against AEW Rampage. While Tony Khan can't wait for Rampage to defeat Smackdown, it has been reported that the Blue Brand's last 30 minutes against AEW will be commercial free. After making the jump to AEW, Bryan Danielson looks set to climb the rankings and earn a shot at the AEW World title. He's already gone toe-to-toe with the champion Kenny Omega as their match went to a time limit draw. Speaking on WDEL, Bryan revealed the details behind his retirement from pro wrestling in 2016. Despite suffering from a brain lesion and seizures, he was able to be cleared by doctors in 2018 as he revealed what actually happened. "I legitimately thought I was healthy, and still think that I'm healthy. One of the reasons I was forced to retire was not because of the concussions, but because I lied about that. You have to understand, from WWE's point of view, I had been wrestling for them for 6 years, but then all of a sudden they opened this Pandora's box about lying about this medical history, and now we can't trust him. A lot of that was building the trust back, but they were also legitimately looking after my health. I was going to see doctor after doctor and doing everything that I could to improve brain function to show, above and beyond, that my brain was healthy." Of course, Bryan's will to wrestle is strong, and he's been cleared by the nation's top doctors. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.